Sensodyne is the best one.
I can enjoy my ice cream as I want to. I don't have to be afraid or embarrassed of my sensitivity.
I can eat my ice cream when I use the Sensodyne, and I can drink my cold gin and tonics.
It does the job.
Hello.
Hello.
Almost evening.
Almost
this afternoon.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for making the journey down to us
Meet you
today.
in the flesh.
I know,
at
first
last.
time. It's
Indeed.
been a long time coming, I feel.
It has. I'm sure there's a joke there. And it has been a long time coming.
A long time
And I'm
coming.
pleased to be here.
It's a good chat we've got coming on today, I think. We have you talking about, a lot of stuff you don't know, because obviously you have not looked at what I'm going to be asking, which I think makes it all the more fun.
Yes.
The focus is the power of the mind today.
Yes.
And how that has played a part in your life and the lessons that you can offer up today for our listeners.
Yes.
But I think a good place to start, as always, is at the beginning with you, who you are.
Okay, it started with my mum and dad.
Maybe skip that bit.
Okay. So, I'm Jeff Salmon, and I suppose I could best be described as a creative businessman. I've done okay for myself, but I know, as I've told my children, that had I have stuck to one particular discipline, whether it was an accountant, and I'm not an accountant, or a lawyer, or anything, a milkman, I think I would have done far, far better staying with one occupation. But there's something miswired up here. And for the life of me, I now have 9 companies, and none of them, there's no connection amongst all of them, but as I say, it all comes from all comes from being creative. I've never purchased a business.
Okay.
I've never sold a business. I'm not proud of either, because I think it's very, very important that one should have the experience of buying a business and making it bigger. I wasn't clever enough, or selling a business where I've been approached lots of times, but not for me. It's I'm just enjoying it. Retirement, which you haven't asked. Will you ever retire? Yes. No, I won't. Because there's a lovely saying that when you retire, you expire. And I've seen too many, whether it be politicians or business people, when they stop, your brain fuzzes up. So they're going to take me out in a box. So there. Yeah,
Heard it here first.
If you're up there. Yeah.
I mean, let's go back to your childhood. Bit of a cliche question, but I think it's quite important. So when I was Googling you, as you do, it said you grew up in the East End of London. Is that right?
Well, it's called what you call the East End of London. The first 6 years, yes.
Okay.
I was brought up in a place called East Ham, or for those dentists that come from that place, East Ham, no H. And from there, I moved to this salubrious area called South Woodford, which is northeast London, still considered East
I'm
London
familiar.
for someone that you are.
Yeah.
And I was there. Of interest, just to show you how things change, up to the age of 6, when I was in infant school, I was always probably one of the top 3 in the class, because we used to have tests every week, and they always used to put the dunces at one end and the clever ones. And then I moved to South Woodford, and from there on in, I was always near the bottom of the class. So it does, it's quite why, I don't know. We used to have streams in those days. We used to have the A stream, the B stream, and the C stream, and they called it D, which is D for...
I think it's kind of similar to today-ish.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Do they still have that?
It's been a while since I've been at school, so I can't vouch for it completely, but similar.
And the school suggested that they put me into the B stream, where I wanted to be, where I would be near the top. My mum, not my dad, but my mum said, no, he's got to go in the A stream. He's got to go, because she thought there was something bad about children in the B stream, and she couldn't tell her son. So they put me in the A stream, where I was always near the bottom. I failed the 11 plus with distinction, It was awful. And then, not that my parents, we don't come from an academic family. I know you're probably looking at me, and your viewers are looking at me, and the way I speak, you probably think that I'm very academic and particularly clever. I am. But I went to what was then called a secondary modern school, where the vast majority of my peer group are now either gardeners, garbage collectors, or in prison. If you weren't clever enough, you got a certificate of secondary education, of which, if you got a grade 1, that was the equivalent of an O-level.
I see.
I took 7 of them, of the CSCs, the rubbish ones, and got 7 grade 4s in all of them. So I was crap. Okay. I really was. Then I did a year at college where I did law, maths, economics, and English. These are, so trying to get my O-levels. Again, I was there for 2 years. No, in fact, I was there for 2 years. And to cut a long story short, the only thing I got was economics, where I got a grade 4. And so there's something not quite right up there. So academic
wasn't for you.
No,
academia.
No, but business was.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. So,
go on, man.
Yeah. So how did that segue you into business then? So obviously you mentioned earlier you have 9 companies. I'm not going to try and reel them off now because I'm not going to lie to you, Jeff. This morning I sat there and I tried to memorize them, but apparently 9 maths was never my forte. 9 was too many for me to remember. But we'll talk about those in a little while. But for now, how did you find out that business was for you?
How did it get to me? When I was in junior school, sorry, not junior school, secondary school from 11 to 15, 16, I was always into, we used to have in those days records. We used to call them little discs that were 45 revolutions a minute, 33s. And I used to buy them and sell them. I don't know why, I was just very good at buying and selling. And then when I went to college, I was a bit of a mafioso where we were all given lockers where we had to put padlocks on them, 1 per pupil. I nicked 6 of them all around the college and rented out, had 1 for myself and rented out 5.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How did you get away with that?
I have no idea at all. But if you want a locker, I'm your man. Okay. So, I left college and I was always very interested in science. So I joined a company that had something to do with shipping. I tell you what it was. Before phones, we had something in ancient times called bleepers. There were, all doctors had them. They were just like little square, rectangular things. And if you wanted to contact somebody who had a bleeper, you used to have to phone up somebody. You used to have to phone up the directory. Hi, I'd like to speak to 3052, please. And this is the message I want to give. So it was the first company that used to use the radiator pipes as the aerial. Okay. So I enjoyed it, but I was earning at the time, I remember very, very well, I was earning what was £11 a week. But all my friends who were starting to become taxi drivers and what else? They were in the rag trade. They were all earning sort of £18, £20 a week. So I thought, well, I want to earn more money and this isn't the best thing for me. So I went to an employment agency and probably in this area. And they said, look, here's a job for you. There's one problem, but let me explain that to you. It's a place called Sotheby's. Now, Sotheby's is one of the hugest auction houses in the world. And they're looking for a filing clerk. Now, I think that you'd fit that role, but you need to have 8 O-levels and 3 A-levels. I said, faff that, what, to file? They said, look, just go along there. Whether you get it, you get it, you get it. So I went there and I told them, I got good news and bad news for you. I'll be the best filing clerk that you've ever had. And from there on in, they said, what's your qualifications? I told them. They said, I'm sorry, you're not qualified enough. I said, no problems. And then I joined another company within a couple of weeks in the sciences. And then I got a call. Hi, this is Sotheby's. We would like to re-interview you. Obviously, they wanted to re-interview me, not because I was a good filer, but because they couldn't find anybody with eight O levels and God knows how many A levels to do their filing. So went along, and they said, we'd like to try you for a week. I said, yeah, suits me. And went along there, and by the age, that was 17, and by the age of 24, I was working in the valuations department. I think I might have even been head of it, I forget, with no qualifications in New York. I had my own flat in New York in the 1970s in Midtown Manhattan.
Incredible.
And so it was my university. I had to realize, and this all comes down to mental thinking. I never had a Cockney accent. My mum was brought up in the East End. My father was brought up in Bristol, so sort of somewhere in between. But I made very clear to myself that I had to start speaking proper, like.
Okay.
Where, everybody that used to come into Sotheby's, even Lady Muck and even her poodle went bow wow. So it's I really had to start learning. I bought books after books, and whilst anybody who's studying the arts relies on the books and the pictures within it, here's me, lucky bugger. Not only did I have the book and the pictures, but I was holding the actual items. So it was an absolute, I was in the right place at the right time. And I left there in 77, 78, and became an art dealer. And I managed to, I saved up. And I had, there's a market, one of these little antique markets in the West End. And I got a stand there, but then I had to find where I was going to get the money from. And I remember speaking to lots of people that for some strange reason had faith in me. And to cut a long story short, people used to give me stuff on sale or return. Okay. And that's really how I got started. And then I knew a lot of people in America. They gave me stuff, and
went from there.
So that's the early part of my life.
Just to kind of recap, you're an art dealer. You fell into it. So your interest in art came as a result of that job.
I had no interest. You're talking to a guy who went to a school like do you know the word Borstal?
Do you know what? I actually don't.
Tell her what Borstal is. We used to call it approved school. Before you go to, if you're not old enough to go to prison.
Okay.
It was. I see. Right, and that is the education. That's the education I had, and. If you ask how I've come out of it at this end, it's an odd story, but I just seem to have done everything I was told not to do. I'm a firm believer. I don't go with anything, whether it be investments, anything. I've never towed the line, not in a bad way, but I wanted any mistakes. I wanted them to be my mistakes. Nobody else's mistakes. I always had that there, and I'm like that today. Well,
you still have a business now, right? That is to do with the arts, antiques. Is that right?
Yes, very, very much. Yes, the arts. It's really probably art, architectural art, and selling contemporary art, like names you would have heard. The Picassos, the David Hockneys, and they're now at a stage that you can't buy. I can't just go out. And, I like that Warhol, here's £10 million. So what I do now is go to far richer people than me. Okay. There's not many of them, but no, I'm joking. It's far richer people than me who they'll come to me for advice, and they will ask me to bid for them at auction. And if it's something big, I might be on, if I'm lucky, 2.5%. But 2.5% of...
Have you got any clients you can name? Or past clients you can name?
I know that you can, because you've probably done my Google.
I might have done that.
Oh, right.
Don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'd rather you find them out myself.
Okay. Note to listeners, Google Jeff.
Wikipedia. I've dealt with a lot of showbiz, but let me also tell you, a good thing for everyone listening, all your A-listers out there, they are the most normal people in the world.
I mean, look at you.
Look at me. C-listers and Bs. They're trying to. It's nice dealing with. It's nice dealing with nice people.
Yeah, always.
It really is.
So 9 businesses now. Let's talk about that. So
I'm probably going to forget some.
I'm gonna do my best here. You ready?
Okay.
Right. So we've got Fish Finger.
Okay, Fish Finger is one of the newest businesses. Okay. That started in 2013. I always had the idea many years ago. And are my shoes in the picture? Because they're really good. No, they're not. Okay. Maybe you can show
later.
them after. Yeah. Fish Finger. We are a digital marketing agency. Mm-hmm. And we do animations. We do branding. Mm-hmm. And it's branding where, by the way, everyone thinks, oh, that Jeff is a fantastic salesman. I swear to you, I'm not doing it for modesty. I am a rubbish salesman. What I am is a marketer. I'm a marketing man. Okay. And people don't realize they are 2 totally different disciplines. Mm-hmm. Marketing is making the phones ring. Sales is probably the easy part, is closing the sale. I'm not a good salesman because I hate selling. I buy my art. I far prefer just to have it on my wall, and just to and it's probably one of the things that, if you like, makes my thing sell, because when you give people the opportunity, when you give people a potential buyer, the thought, the demeanor that you don't want to sell something, they want it even more, and it's like that. But I don't do it on purpose. Okay. I really don't.
So that's Fish Finger?
That's Fish Finger. My son runs that company.
Okay, wonderful. We've got Salmon Assessors.
Salmon Assessors. I started that 41 years ago.
Okay. And
it's probably the best known of the, not necessarily the largest. It's not the largest of the businesses, but it's the best known. So Salmon Assessors, when you have a flood, a fire, a burglary, the first thing an insurance company does is to instruct what is called an insurance loss adjuster. And their function, they look all independent, but they ain't. They're paid by the insurance company to knock your claim down. And I wanted to work for the claimant, and only the claimant. And our function is just to work for claimants and getting the best settlement. And from a one-man concern, that's become as loss assessors go, it's a little known industry, but I like that business.
Excellent.
That is negotiating at its highest level.
Yeah.
And I love, as I said, crap salesman, but negotiating, 2 totally different disciplines. I love it, and I'm very, very good at it.
The other 5? No, wait, we haven't named them all yet, but just to give a sense of the variety.
Okay,
you've got air conditioning as well.
Air conditioning is probably one of the largest air conditioning companies in the country.
Amazing.
Of its type, and that's air conditioning is going. It just goes from strength to strength every year. We've now opened up a new, totally separate company, because I always wanted to get into renewable energy. And yes, nobody had heard about it 10, 15 years ago. And it's something called heat pumps. And it's a type of energy that doesn't require gas. It just transfers heat. There's always, even down to a -20 temperature, you can still take heat out of it. It's a
Okay.
special machine, and that in the government at present, they're giving £7,500. What do they call it? My brain's gone. They give £7,500. Brain
Funding.
Thank you. Another word for funding.
Subsidy.
Subsidy. Thank you. You know, you look so stupid. You're really not. No. Okay, fine. So at present, the government give a £7,500 subsidy for anybody that wants it, and it's going to be huge. It's not going to be huge because I'm saying so. England is the only country in the world that hasn't taken to heat pumps because it seems so expensive. But you know, we're all going to zero carbon, and it's going to be an absolute fantastic business. Very, very excited about that.
I think one thing that I've noticed, and probably people listening, is that
My looks.
yeah, you're obviously that's what I was going to say first. Number two, though, is that there's nothing really in common. These businesses
Nothing.
are completely different.
Yeah.
So obviously, variety is something you thrive off of. I mean, how do you manage nine businesses?
Fine. Well, I don't manage. Well, 9 businesses. I don't manage.
Okay.
I manage one of them, the antiques, the art side. But I have the most fantastic team. I've got the core of our team. You know, everybody wants to be something. Everyone's well paid. And it's just, I couldn't be luckier. You're only as good, you're only as good as your best staff. And I'm sure that Branson said it before me, but I try to employ far cleverer people than I am. And I mean that. It's, you know, it works. Just stick with great people. And let me also tell you something else that may surprise you, is that I don't necessarily go for university graduates. Many of them think that they have a job. Give me somebody who comes to me at the age of 17 or 18 with a good personality, someone that we can mold and we can see that person has potential. Give me that over somebody who at 21, 22 has been to Oxford, Cambridge, and thinks that the world owes them a living. It doesn't. I want people with personality. I really, my daughter she's 17, and she's, again, none of us are academic, but we push. And she's going to Oxford. Well, let me be clear, not quite Oxford. She's gone to Bicester, the outlet centre, which is very near. So
okay, a little bit of clarification needed there.
So you know, let's get it right.
Counts.
So no, we're not the 2 boys are very bright.
Yeah.
One got a first in linguistics. The other one got, I don't know what they get. But
how many of you children have you got?
I have. There's.
Wondering
There's
if
4.
we've got Boris Johnson on our sofa here.
No, I'm joking. There's 4 children. I have a boy of 41 who's got. He works in the assessing company. He has 4 children. I have somebody of 38 to 39. That's Richard. I have a 33-year-old daughter who's in the arts, and I have a 17-year-old. So it's and they're good kids. I'm very, very lucky.
So you're big family, lots of business. There must have been some obstacles along the way here that you had to kind of push through. It's a lot of responsibility.
It is a lot of responsibility, and if anyone in business tells you that they have only had good times, they ain't been in business. I can tell you now, 100%. I've had good times, bad times, several bad times, times where I thought I had to take my children out of school, times where I thought, right, I better leave to a smaller premises, but for some strange reason, you rob Peter to pay Paul in a good way, and I managed to get through. There was a time, I kid you not, about 2 or 3 years after I was married in 1980, where there was a huge recession. I think it was in 82. And I became a window cleaner, doing the windows myself. I hate heights. So at the
Perfect
time,
job for you.
no. At the time, I used to hire. I don't know whether that happens anymore. There used to be a lot of Australians used to come over here to stay here for 6 months and to go down with camper vans. So I used to hire them to do all the work
The
at the
high
top.
ones.
We were the worst. Truly, we were the most expensive, but the worst cleaners. And I remember getting up about 4 o'clock in the morning before the company started, dishing out these flyers, going around, just putting them all out. And as God is my witness, 15, 20 years later, I used to get, after I closed the business after a year, the only business I've ever closed, I used to get phone calls at home. Because I used to call myself Mr. Jeffries, as Jeff. Mr. Jeffries, the window cleaner there, please. What they've done, they had found some old flyer that they'd stuck away somewhere, and I always used to say, I'm dreadfully
Sounds
sorry.
like you should have kept that open. Still getting the calls.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have done. But I used to say, I'm dreadfully sorry. Did you not hear? Mr. Jeffries fell off his ladder. No. And so, but I will try anything. When you've got children, whether it's children, business employees, you've got to look after people. And you've got to, people, they'll always say, the businessman, they've always got money, they always earn this, what they don't realise is, and I'm sorry if this comes out wrong, but I'm sure a lot of your viewers will go along with me here. As a businessman, if our business goes bad, we lose our houses or anything that we have put up as collateral for the loans. Staff might take them a few weeks, can generally always find another job. And it's just, people forget the responsibilities. Oh, he earns this, he earns that. Yes, he does earn this and he does earn that, but in a bad year, he earns nothing. And if things go up the wrong way, you're buggered.
Yeah.
You lose everything. There's a big responsibility.
I think that will resonate with a lot of people. Like I mentioned earlier, there's business is a big word known in dentistry, increasingly so. Younger dentists opening practices. There's a lot of do I, don't I, and a lot of the time they do. And there's a lot of risk. So I'm sure they can completely relate to that. And like you said, you've got people relying on you as well, just to add to that pressure, not just your own family, but the family of your staff.
Well, I consider anything I do, not just for my family and education and food. I am really mindful of those staff that have mortgages to pay. There are times, let's take COVID. We had to make probably around 6 or 7 staff redundant. And we did everything we could to ensure that the staff that were made redundant did not have dependents. We're very mindful of our staff, and if you want to keep staff, you got to treat them. You got to treat them well. You really do.
You once said in an interview when I was doing my research that you've got to be a chameleon. That was something you said you probably don't.
A chameleon?
You said you've got to be a chameleon.
No, that wasn't me. No.
That wasn't you, was it? Different Jeff Salmon.
No, I know. I think they spelt the word wrong. I think it was a comedian. Okay. Yes, you do have to be a chameleon. You've got to be a chameleon. You've got to be able to adapt to anything. Good times, bad times. I don't mind bad times now. And I don't mind, the bottom line is that I'm all my staff know we've got to take advantage of bad and good. Like the stock market, nobody makes any money when everything is quiet. People make money when it's going up or on the way down and up again. And when I wasn't joking when I said comedian as well, to have a sense of humor. Yeah. Listen, the worst, people like, they'll talk about false teeth, they'll talk about wigs. Nobody will admit to not having a sense of humor. I can tell you that I found a lot of people without a sense of humor. They don't get me. Can't do anything about that. I'm a bit odd. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I haven't been. My daughter, my 17-year-old, says, "Dad, why don't you go for the what is it? ADHD. ADHD. I've probably got it. I don't know. I have no idea.
I like that she's referring you.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a.
Looking out for you.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Okay, most of your forgive me. Most of your viewers looking at this will look at me and they'll probably think, he's in his late 40s, early. What are you laughing at?
Yeah,
No. Stop this interview. No. The sarcasm, the face.
Not of agreement.
Okay. I'm more than happy to be diagnosed with anything at the age of 70, and it's just me. I just try to enjoy everything, but believe me, I really have had some shocking times where I've made business mistakes. There was one particular one back in 1997, 98, where I thought I was going to rule the portable air conditioning market. I bought every single portable air conditioner that was available and didn't realize that although it was a fantastic make, I bought a bunch of duds. And oh my God, it was an awful period. But again, you rob Peter, you pay Paul, you speak to everybody. And when you're having business troubles, first thing, so important, tell your bank, before those people that you are, that you owe money to, come to your door, get onto them first. I have a problem. I will get out of the problem. And I would ask you to go along with me. And can I tell you, if you go to them first, rather than come to you, you make some good friends and they remember you. They remember you forever.
That's good advice.
Well,
good advice. I don't personally know, but it sounds like sensible, good advice. So honesty, in a way.
Just be straight. Honesty is the best. Honesty is the best policy. For
sure.
But claiming insanity is a far better defence. So it's I like that. I think I might use that one myself.
Write that down quickly.
I love quoting myself.
You mentioned your personality earlier. I'm going to come back to that. That you comedy is important to you. Being able to have a sense of humour is important for you, and I think
it's my life. Humour is humour's my life. I see comedy in everything. So much so, I've been to funerals where it has been a nervous laugh.
Yeah, I understand.
And
that.
Truly, of course, but I see comedy in everything. I see humour in everything, and that's me. Even though, for example, people come to me on the loss assessing company. They've just had a fire. They've just had floods. And I try to explain to them they're insured, and so long as you're well insured.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everything will be fine. I just try to make them see the funny side. Yeah.
You've had some TV appearances
over the years,
which is what I'm linking to this. Yeah. So 4 Rooms, am I right? That was your first sort of major.
First room, yeah. 4 Rooms was the first thing I did that for 4 years running. Basically, don't say the word basically. I always tell my kids never to say the word basically or
We
fundamentally.
can cut that if you want.
Yeah, no, keep it in. So I was, I got so Four Rooms is, it was a program on Channel 4 where people used to, it was prime time. It wasn't I don't want you to think for a second I do daytime. I'm just not.
Just prime time.
Just prime time.
Just prime time.
And people bought their works of art in, and they pitched them to 4 dealers, of which I was one of them.
Okay.
And then they decide who they're going to come to first. And let's say they come to me, and I just turn around to them and I say, I love what it is. How much do you want for it? £30,000. I say, okay, I'll offer you 20,000. They say 25,000. I say, fine. And we do the deal. The opposite side is that they want 30,000 for something. I offer them 20. They say no. I offer them 25. They say no. So they leave the room and they can't come back. They've just got to go to. And that was fun. So I'd never done any TV.
Okay.
Before. I did amateur dramatics when I was sort of 21, and I was approached by Channel 4, and they said that they came to one of my. I had a couple of galleries in the West End, and they said that they thought that I'd be very good on it. I said, well, how do you know? You don't know me. And one of my managers said, look, come in, they want to see you. So I went in, my wife told me to wear a scarf and look arty. Yeah. Okay. So went in, and they said, right, what we want you to do, we want you to just go round, just be yourself, but don't point at the camera. Never look at the camera. I said, fine, no problems. Okay, so what's this? And don't forget, don't look. You've told me 3 times I won't look. So what's this? So there was a couple of mirrors, large mirrors that were made from jet engine parts. And I went up to them, and bleep this out, you're very welcome to. And I said, look at these fuckers. These are amazing. These are the ultimate boys' toys. And you know what? I paid through the fucking nose for those, and the next bastard's going to play through the noses. And they're going, you know, I thought I'd ballsed it up. They thought it was, I didn't think I was ever going to get the gig because I was just, I was, if you like, being a bit of Gordon Ramsay and an antiques dealer. And to cut a long story short, they gave me the gig. After about 6 months, I was absolutely certain I wasn't going to get it. And from there on in, it went on and on. I got bored with it. And as soon as I get bored with something, it's not something TV. It doesn't excite me. Business excites me. And then I've been offered a lot of things, but they've always been of a challenge. Jeff, for example, I had the BBC phoning me up, one of their departments, saying, we've got a great idea. If we give you £50,000, can you do 8 shows for us, maybe 10, showing us how in 6 months you can turn that 50,000 into $1 million? I said, even if I could do it, would I bloody show you how to do it? And brain. So everything was of a sort of a challenge, Jeff, and it had no interest.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, we were approached on some another antique show, which I rather liked at the time. But again, it bores me. When you're a businessman, you're used to giving, not that I give a lot of orders, but you give orders. You're not used to taking orders from okay, get here, get there. And it used to drive me. I can imagine. It used to drive me batty. So I think I've decided I won't be doing any more.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you obviously Rise and Fall last year.
Okay.
Which was a Channel 4, wasn't it, as well?
Yes.
Channel 4?
Yep. And again, Rise and Fall, I didn't want to do it, but my son told me not to do it.
Oh, not to?
Not to.
Okay.
And one of my MDs said, do it, you know, you're 70, where will you ever get a chance like this? I said, but I don't fancy it. It was sold to me as a business type program. I did it. I don't know how I lasted so long.
Yeah, you did all right, didn't you?
Yeah, I did well. But so, you know, with all these shows, there's always the token old fogey. And again, as I said, you know, I do look amazing from out of my age, but I just hated every minute of it. And
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and I got out. I managed to get a phone call to my wife to say, look, Arsenal are playing tomorrow. Book a Chinese restaurant as well. I'm going to.
Is this you telling me you're an Arsenal fan?
I'm sorry?
Is this you telling me you're an Arsenal fan?
I'm sorry. Have I said that?
No, how have only just found this out? I am too.
Are you?
Yeah, Tim, who's watching though, probably is a Spurs fan, so he might be a bit upset about
yeah,
that.
Scum. But hey, you know, you get these things. Oh, fine.
Yeah, well, great. Learn something new about you. Yeah, you've just gone right up in my.
If you make me look good and handsome on this and sort of powder me up or what, I'm not even powdered. Everybody, look at this.
We should have got one next time.
This is natural stuff. But no, you're coming with me sometime.
Oh, I'd love to.
Lovely.
Thank you.
That's a pleasure.
Personal life now.
Yeah.
You also lead a lot of very varied interests, one of which you probably know where this is going now is your interest in mentalism.
This is something, mentalism, I suppose it's a genre of magic.
I was going to say, a lot of people won't know what that is. I didn't. So, yeah, if you could just explain a little bit about what mentalism is.
I think many of you would have heard of a guy called Derren Brown. And I did my first show. I actually did a show in Hampstead, London, for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. I called it Sleight of Mind, and I can't believe it. So here I was working in the daytime, running companies, and then turning up at the theatre from 9 o'clock to 10:30, doing a one-man show. I'd never talk about pushing yourself to do something. It really did do enormously well. You can go on
YouTube.
Or you go on YouTube, and if you Jeff Salmon Magic, it's you see how I looked all those years ago. And I love mind games. Love mind games, mind tricks, and you know, it's very easy to, as we'll find out a little later, it's very easy for me to do things and to give you the impression that I have a power. I have no power whatsoever. I've got the spirituality of a teapot. All I can tell you is that it's being a charlatan. For example, all of those people out there, and I hope there's not many of you watching this, who think that there's such a thing as fortune tellers. It's called cold reading. It's called Barnum statements. After the American circus entrepreneur who said, P.J. Barnum, who said, tell people what they want to hear. For example, let me tell you a fortune. Right, Gaby, on one hand, you can be the life and soul of a party, but on other times you feel that you want to be shy. And well, that's everybody in the bloody world, you know. And this is how. A quick question: do you know anybody apart from me? Do you know any J's or M's in your life?
Yes.
Yes. Fine. Okay. And that's because everybody knows a J and an M, and it's if you actually listen to what if you go on to reading about Barnum statements and then seeing these people on TV doing it's all generic. I try not to. I don't do any of that. I don't claim that I can see into the future, but sometimes I can be very, very clever and I'm just
prepping. Well, with that in mind.
So I've always liked mind games.
Yeah.
Where you have no props. I love it when there are no props, where I can just with the power of the mind. And please, I don't mean an Anthony Robbins type thing. It's a lot of the viewers. What's it called? NFU and what do you call it? NLP. oh, I've studied NLP. I can tell you now, I can go to a fortune teller and tell her all about herself, and she will say how, and it's me being a total charlatan.
Okay.
But I can't tell you the rules, but one day I will.
One day, please.
Where's this leading?
You sent me a letter all the way up
I did send
in
you
Edinburgh earlier this week. We were both very
we spoke
impressed.
on, where are we now? Friday?
Yeah, I think it arrived. So it's Friday today, and it arrived.
We spoke on Tuesday.
So it would be Wednesday.
Right.
It arrived. I think you posted it Tuesday, and it was amazing. Really, it got there less than 24 hours. 400
Yeah,
miles.
what's that, 400 miles?
It was quite impressive.
Yeah.
I have it here.
Woohoo! Have you tried to open it? I did put some words on the back
Just
that said,
to prove there is.
And my signature's there.
Signatures there.
And it's been safely looked after.
Explained safely looked up. You can
Okay.
see.
So.
Have you given me permission to open this now?
You have permission to
Do we
open.
want to explain a little bit about what will be in here before I do, or shall we?
Okay. No, I'm happy. So again, mind games.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like, mind games on a different level. When you see things on television, magic shows, everything you see on television has been edited. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're only seeing what the producer and director want you to see. What I like to do, I like to put all that away, and I like to do things in real time. So that's been in your safe custody.
It has been in my safe custody.
And I've tried to give some predictions
Okay.
of news events after I
received
sent.
it.
So maybe yesterday or today.
Okay.
Some will be close to the mark. Some will be a good stab.
Okay.
But let's.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So now?
It's your show. My handwriting is bloody awful. Okay, but.
Do I read this?
I don't want to tell you what
So
to read.
it reads, "Hi Gabby, I've just got off the phone to you and look forward to seeing you on Friday. We discussed having a little bit of fun during the interview and mentioned about predictions. Let me make clear that I've no special powers, even though it's easy for me to give that impression.
As I said.
As you mentioned, so what's been happening since? You reviewed the letter on Wednesday morning. You ready?
I'm ready.
Number one says, there'll be something about the NHS and targets that haven't been met.
I don't know whether I did ask you. I don't know whether you have. I did. I asked you to go on to the BBC and.
I have printed them out rather than have it on my phone, just in case. So shall I read them all out first, then we look at what I've got?
You're in charge.
Okay. Number one is there is likely to be some sad news to do with a footballing personality. This has nothing to do with a famous German footballer who died 2 days ago.
That was Franz Beckenbauer, who died a couple of days before I spoke to you.
And the third one is something about an exciting archaeological find in the Amazon.
I've been accurate on that.
Okay. And number four, sadly on Thursday, a famous BBC presenter will pass.
Which happened probably... That news came out about an hour and a half ago.
Oh my God.
Don't look at me like
Okay. So I've got some screenshots here and we're going to try and match them up. So already I can see here the key NHS targets that have never been met.
What a talent.
So this is, I'm freaked out already.
Well, hey, listen, always look at things. Maybe I have some very good contacts in the press that's going to tell me what's going to happen in 2 days' time.
Maybe.
Let's look at. I don't, but it's a possibility.
Sad news to do with a footballing personality. So ex-England boss Sven-Göran Eriksson diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Sadly.
Very, very sad, that one. You were right with that.
Actually, I'm amazed. I wasn't expecting it to actually be that that accurate. But did it say I'm going to come into a lot of money or something?
Not yet. Ah, another one. Massive ancient city found in the Amazon.
I was right on that. Now, listen. There are always new There's always someone's finding a mummy in some new mummy in Egypt, but yeah,
amazing.
I'm pretty proud.
This won't be the first time that you freaked me out. I mean, with some
We did something over the phone.
We did do something over the phone. That was impressive and very enjoyable. You're going to have to tell me how this works one day.
I will teach you afterwards, but I will have to murder you.
That's fine. That seems like a fair
fair
deal.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And that's it.
I mean, varied life, personal and professional.
There was one more. Do you know? Forgive me.
Where?
I put down something. Continue. Where's that? Is there not one more? Maybe there will.
I think I read them all. You said a famous BBC presenter will pass.
Oh! Did we say that? Did we say that one as well?
We didn't say who it was because you said it happened an hour and a half ago. Who was it?
It was Anne Nightingale, who was one of the first female.
I've been locked in here for a few hours, so I haven't seen that. But that did happen too.
That happened 2 hours ago. Okay, maybe there's a bit of luck there, but sorry, it was. Can I tell you something? Can you imagine?
1 hour ago.
What was it? What is an hour ago? Yeah.
How?
And what? Give me how? Be frank. Just say. I'll say. How do you do it?
How do you do it?
Very well indeed.
I'll give you that. You definitely do.
But it's playing about with people's minds. I've taught it to all my children.
Okay, interesting.
And I have somebody here who knows one day will be one of our employees because he's very bright. But I'm trying to teach it to young Dylan as well, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very good as well. And I've put him under pressure. When he gets out, I want him to see whether he understands the wordplay. Although there's not much wordplay there at all.
I couldn't. Until you explain it to me, I won't sleep tonight. Basically, I will be thinking about how.
We will discuss this.
We will discuss. I hope so. But back to what I was saying was very varied. You know, you've got a lot of interests. You've got a lot of business.
Yeah.
Why is this so important to you? And how do you think this has informed who you are now?
Forgive me, could you rephrase the question?
Yes.
How is what important to me?
Why is this variety, different businesses, mentalism, different interests?
Got it. We started right at the beginning of this interview. It's the brain. I am incapable of sticking to one thing. My mind is always on the next thing. And allow me to say, this isn't, I've got a fantastic money-making idea that will do. It's, I'm of an age that I don't need that anymore. It's, I love the mechanics of turning one into two. I find it enjoyable. However it's done, so long as I've got to enjoy the product. And I would tell anyone not to do anything that they don't, that they don't enjoy. But it's miswired. I should have stayed with one thing. Should have retired at 60. And I don't want to. I'm just me, daft as they come. But do I enjoy? Does I? I'm sorry. Does I? No, they're wrong school. Do I enjoy working? I don't think about it as work. It's not work. Working is when you've got somebody behind you who's going to take your job. I don't work. I've never worked. Because if you enjoy something, that's not working. You know, I'm very, very privileged to be in that position. I wasn't grown up privileged. Mum and Dad, they used to have a shop. I used to, they used to rent the shop. We used to live above it. So have I had a privileged life? Certainly not. Have my children? Certainly. But it's very easy to have a privileged life and not do anything with it. To me, if somebody has been given, if somebody's lucky enough to take over some huge multi-million-pound business and make it into a billion-pound business, that's what it's about. But all I want to enjoy, have fun, and I will have, there's a lot of aggravation.
Yeah.
Trust me, a lot of aggravation in business.
Mm-hmm.
But get on with it, man.
One bit of advice for anyone looking to dip their toe into business now.
Do it. Follow. Just trust your gut and don't be put off by anybody who tells you not to do it. So many people have told me not to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, do the opposite. So long as it's legal, do the opposite. Don't follow the crowds. And let me also tell you, just because somebody else is doing, you've come up with a good idea and somebody turns around, yeah, but load of people are doing that. Ignore them. Just do it better than the other people. You can have two shops on either side of a road where one looks like they're both selling the same things, but one has a better layout, nicer staff. That's the shop that will do way, way better than the other one. Do everything with a good heart. Sorry, I'm getting passionate here, but do it with a good heart and a sense of fun, and it will all, the achievement will come. And what is very important, and this will lead on to something in a second, what is to know what the person you are dealing with is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just so important in business, and not just business, but everyday relationships, to know what other people are thinking. And I'm going to be very happy. I'm going to try that on you in a second. It probably comes from my 4 rooms days where I used to throw dice to see whether I'd.
Let's do it.
Will you give it a go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Lovely.
So, you ready?
Okay, so I mentioned a little bit earlier, I feel more comfortable now, that it's important to watch people and see their body language. Now, from the show 4 Rooms, I was always known for tossing dice to see whether I was going to make a decision or not. So I brought some dice with me, if I can find them. And what I'd like you to do, I would just like you to pick a dice.
Oh, just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Anyone you want
I'm
to.
gonna go for the
Okay,
blue one.
that's fine. So I'll just put those, leave them there. And what I'd like you to do is I want you to roll the dice like this. Or, in fact, you can just do it like that. It'll be fine on there. And see what you've rolled, okay?
Okay.
But keep it to yourself. Don't tell the camera. So you're just going to go like that and look at this. So there, I've thrown a 2. Just keep it to yourself. Just keep your hands over it all the time, okay?
Okay.
Right. I'll look this way so no one's looking.
On the table?
Or there, wherever, anywhere you want to. You happy with that?
Not yet. Hang on.
You tell me when.
And then I cover it.
Just cover it. Right, you covered it? Yeah. Do you know what you've thrown, yes or no?
Yes.
You do. So look at me, and I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so nice and I won't look at you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No. I'm sorry. This is what you did, and the viewers will see it. You went 1, 2, 3, 4. You went like that. Did you throw a 4?
I did throw a 4.
Right. So if you could make an effort, can we just try? Okay. So let's try this again.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go back and
do anything you want to.
I'll try harder.
Do you want to do it again?
No, I'm happy.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where's the dice?
In my hand.
Okay. Fine. So you know what you threw.
I know what I threw.
Okay. Fine. So again, 1, 2, 3, 44556.
1,
No,
2,
look,
3.
no. 1. Did you? You're making it. Did you throw a 1?
Yes.
You did. Fine. So let's try something else.
Okay.
You're making. You don't, unless you want to have
I feel
another.
like it's my fault. I can't do it.
Wait. It's certainly not my fault. You've started this. You are. Right. Look. We'll try it. Go on. Do it one more time.
Just to.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm not looking. You done it?
Yep.
You want to throw again, or are you happy?
No, I'm happy.
Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, a little bit harder that time. Just go 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6. Go 6.
6.
5.
5.
6.
6.
You threw a 5. Okay, so now, could you tell everybody, is that book in, can you see that book? Is it my book?
No.
What did I ask a few minutes ago?
You asked if anybody had a book.
Lovely. I'd like you to throw all 3 dice, please.
On the table.
On just on the table. Just could you be good enough to put that over them so you don't see, because I don't want you to see what you've thrown. Okay? I won't look. You've done that? Done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you just pass me that book. Okay, I've never seen this book before, though you told me everything's written in prose.
The voice is tense.
Okay, could you slowly lift up that cushion?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you don't disturb the dice.
Are you allowed to see?
Yes. Okay, and what I'd like you to do, please, could you put the dice in ascending order? 1, 3, 4. And what I'd like you to do, please, is to go to your book that I've never seen in my life.
Yep.
And can you go to page 134 and just study the top line?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've done that?
Yep.
And I'd like you, whether it's a name or a big word, just concentrate on a big word, okay?
Okay.
Lovely. Just put the book down. Right, look at me. Relax. Okay. Answer this in your head. Is there an X in it? A W? A G? You see that? A G. So there's a G in it, okay? So, fine, relax. Concentrate on the last letter. In your mind, is it a vowel? It's a vowel, okay, fine. And you look nervous. Don't worry about it. Okay, fine.
Sweating.
Don't be. Is it a? It's the name of somebody. Okay. And give me the second letter. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Just gone past it. H. Okay. So, is it H? Oh, it's is that French? French now. Oh yeah, I went across that. Something about I know you well, or knowest you well. Charlemagne, I know you well.
Yes.
Can you just read it out? Eat your heart out, David Blaine.
Oh, Charlemagne, though little knowest.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. You know, it's.
I mean, I think that's okay. Thank you. Jeff, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming down. It's been a great chat, and I think some really great advice for our viewers and our listeners.
I hope so, and let me tell you, if you have enjoyed it half as much as I have, then I've enjoyed it twice as much as you.
I'll be thinking about that for a while. Thank you.
It's
Cheers.
a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Find that Sensodyne is the best one.
I can enjoy my ice cream as I want to. I don't have to be afraid or embarrassed of my sensitivity.
I can eat my ice cream when I use the Sensodyne and I can drink my cold gin and tonics.
It does the job.